How's it going, everybody? And welcome to today's Yashahime Princess Half Demon episode recap and review. Is episode 24, the final episode of the season. It's called Sesshomaru's Daughter. I'm gonna do my best because, it's my second time doing it, and my footage got corrupted. So let's see how well this one goes. Gotta tell you guys, I have some mixed feelings on this one, and it's interesting. We are been confirmed for a second season and showed up at the end of the episode, and yeah. Let's get right into it. Before we do, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. All three of those things help me out. I'm trying to hit 100 subscribers before the end of this month or the beginning of next month. All right, let's get right into it. If we remember last time, we had the issues with Zero. The princesses were trying to get their revenge, and at the end, Satsuna ended up killing Zero, but she was brought back by Tensaiga by Sesshomaru because, of course, she's connected to Ren. The Tensaiga was broken, and then Kirinmaru appeared. Well, we're picking up right from there. Kirinmaru comes right in between them, and actually, we picked up from Toa saying that she understood how Zero felt, given that he had to keep up some type of societal standards based on what she went through in the modern era, girls wearing boys' clothes and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I'm still trying to understand how she even came to that conclusion. How could she sense her feelings given whether she wanted to be with the great dog demon but didn't? And I don't get that. Hopefully they'll elaborate on that. I also remember comparing this to Korra. What I meant to say is that when I compare it to Korra, it's basically with the Tenseiga being broken. Same thing with Korra foolishly having the past avatar being able to talk to them and learn from them being broken because of her being dumb. And kind of felt like this was like a shock thing they did, or kind of like breaking a Deus Ex, because later on in the episode, Kirinmaru even says, hey, Tensei come to bring back, a person once. So, bet. But anyway, Kirinmaru appears, and the girls, Kirawa comes down and scoops them up. They're in the air. They can feel the bloodlust in the air. They're remarking on, Kirinmaru isn't even paying attention to them. They know that they even made a single move, they will be cut in two just like that. And Kirinmaru is apologizing to Sesshomaru for his sister breaking the Tenseiga. And, he yells at Zero, telling her she went way too far. And Shomu says he doesn't want an apology. He's not even attached to the sword. He sheaves the broken Tenseiga and takes out the Baku Seiga. He says, as long as I have this Baku Seiga, I can do what it's going to be more than enough. And Zero saying, oh, you're going to cut me, or can you cut me? He's like, yeah, you're connected to Ren, right? Yeah, that's what you want. And Jockin is with Ren, in that dimension where she's in the Tree of Ages. And Ren is crying, and Jockin's like, wait, what's going on? And at that moment, Sesshomaru says, yeah, let's stop with all this talk because it's going to make Ren sorrowful. And he makes his move. He's trying to kill Zero, right? Kirinmaru blocks the sword and says, hey, you didn't go after Akaru's pinwheel. How about you sieve your blade and we just call it even? And Shamaru's like, I refuse. Kirinmaru, the one eye we see of his, it narrows and it's like, oh, snap. I know it's about to happen. He tells his sister that he's serious, and the girl's no longer gonna be a shield. She's like, good, that's what I want. I don't want the girl to be a shield. He's gonna murder you. I'm pretty sure he'll find another way to bring Ren back if he wants to murder you this much. Because I'm assuming that because she used her as a shield, he's not mad at Satsuna for using her blood blade for killing Zero. He's mad at the fact that Zero put them in this situation to begin with. And so Zero says, someone says, Zero's gonna be more pitiful, I guess being guarded by her younger brother. And Kirinmaru, doesn't want to move. He doesn't want to let them fight. And, she says, what she's doing is protecting him. He's being a little bit ungrateful. And, he turns around and puts her in a field because Kirinmaru is pissed. He just got through clashing with Sesshomaru, and he is saying, hey, I wrote this down, what he said. He says that vain wish on some worthless orb, talking about the Shikon Jewel, is what brought you this dishonor. Because he's saying all this stuff is dishonorable. You're scared about a prophecy about half demons killing me, and it caused you to do all of these machinations that's been going on for last 15 to 20 years, right? 15, 16 years, right? He lifts his hand up, closes his hand, and the rainbow pearls leave him around Zero's neck, and they disperse. And she says, "You know what? Okay, maybe it's time we cut ties." She aims her arm up, uses that little webby Tsuchigumo staff. She webs onto nothing. I'm assuming it's magical, so she webbed onto a cloud and says, "From this point on, we are strangers. I'm not your sister. You're not my brother. I don't know you. I don't own you. You don't own me. I'm gone. I'm done." And she just webs off. He's trying to tell her the way, and Kirinmaru, the jerk, stabs Kirinmaru in his back. And he's like, "Really? So you're gonna betray me?" He's like, "You would have called her if I didn't give her this chance. So, bye." Flicks the little earring, disappears. And, Kirinmaru's talking to Sesshomaru. He's like, "So, I guess you're going to go after her, or..." And Sesshomaru was like, "Yeah, and the subtitles didn't pick this up, but because I know a little bit of Japanese, Sesshomaru was speaking in third person. He's saying, 'Leave Zero to Sesshomaru,' which is like, oh snap, he actually intends on murdering her." And Kirinmaru was like, "Okay, but what about the girls, right?" And he's like, "Well, this is a writ of challenge and of courage and cowardice." He flies off in the same direction that Zero went. And Kirinmaru, the girls finally land. Kirara lets them all land, and he's walking towards them. And the rapier that Riku stabbed him with, it glows purple as he's using his abilities to pull out. He said, "As you can see, I'm very irritable today." And he just takes the sword, and he's like, "So I'm going to tell you right now, if I fight you, I'm not going to hold back like I did before. I'm not going to hold back at all." He takes off his mask, and at first I thought he only had one eye because he has scales on his right cheek. He got slashed on the left by Toa before. So he has scales on his right cheek, like I mentioned before, but he actually has both eyes, both green eyes. And he's dead set. He's like, "I'm going to get you. I'm not going to hold back." And the girls are readying up. They spread apart. They're getting ready. Toa's like, "Wait, you were holding back before? That's ridiculous." And Moroha goes, "He's obviously lying," which this brought me such dissatisfaction because, flat out, how can they be so stupid? I don't know if they're boastful because they beat the four perils, and at that, one of them or two of them didn't even know who they were. Did you think that they, because they were chump change, you could beat this guy? That is what's irritating me. Did you not pay attention to when he clashed with Sesshomaru, which was gonna end the world? And the fight that he has in here makes that fight, that was a sparring match. They were not being serious when they clashed blades. So, Satsuna says, "It's a writ, it's a right. I can't just simply walk away," because he says, if you were to walk away now, if you would have walked away, I wouldn't have chased you. I would have let you go. If you're gonna challenge me, cool. And he says, "All right, unleash the power you have." And at this point, this is why you need to be scared. This guy has had a nonchalant, non-smiling face most of the time they met him. All the times they met him, actually. He's smiling now. He's having a good time. He's laughing. Toa makes the first move. They're clashing, and he's easily dodging. He makes a swipe and cuts the little band that she has. I thought he actually cut her, but he cuts the band. Satsuna does a cyclone burst, that splits them up, and then she does a scourge of swallows. This dude just, where Rikimaru had to, dodge and then cut too, this dude just cut them all, laughing the entire time. And laughing and smiling. And Moroha does the Crimson Dragon Wave. He puts a rudimentary barrier. I say rudimentary because it just puts up a barrier, a flat barrier in front of him. And it bounces the dragon back. She does the reverse backlash Crimson Dragon Wave. Hate that name. And the tornado forms with the dragon. It comes back on him. This dude uses an ability called Break Barrage, slashes in the air, causing a rift in space, and sending smaller black energy bullets at not only cutting the dragon and breaking it up, it's coming towards Moroha. Satsuna does her cyclone burst to hit Moroha, knock her out the way, and Moroha's like, what the hell are you doing? Would you rather be hit by me or be hit by that? I don't think you want to be hit by that. So, where am I at here? So, at this point, and this is what's crazy about it, he's saying your problem is that you lack spirit. If you hadn't depended on the pearls this whole time, you would have been mastered your inherited powers. The rapier is broken at this point. Like him using his special attack and blocking everything, things broken down almost to the hilt, and he drops it and takes out his real blade. One of the things I have to mention is that Zero did say that that her tears is what made the rainbow pearls, so she can always find them, which is going to be an issue for the princesses. Or will it? We'll find out. And so he's talking about them, they need to own their power, they need to be stronger. And Moroha is saying, you know what, stop running your mouth. And she says, focus on her spirit power. So she sends a heavenly arrow barrage, the power she got from her mom. And he's like, behold the force. Dude uses one sword swipe, breaks all that stuff, just breaks all the arrows down. And the second swipe he does, he blows Moroha into the sky. She loses her weapons. Kirinmaru has to catch her on her back while Moroha's draped over Kirinmaru. It looks like she's kind of stunned a bit. He has Satsuna on one side, and Toe on the other side. And he's saying, yeah, you know what? I'm going to respond to you guys in the same way you've responded to me. So I challenge you. He's ready. Meanwhile, we see Totosai on his flying ox with the little clouds on the oxen feet. He's on his way to the battlefield. Jockin's hanging on the side saying, hey, I need you to take me to where Ren's children are. Ren was crying. And Totosai said, yeah, we're going to the same place. But we ain't going to make it there on time. I'm just going to let you know that right now. We're going to the birthplace of the heavenly sword, Yukari no Tachikiri. Which, I guess, a new blade is about to be born, right? Well, Toe is clashing with, Kirinmaru. He's like, hey, what happened to the girl that put this scar on my cheek? I'm kind of disappointed. Satsuna comes from behind, screaming Toa's name. He catches her Naginata with 2 fingers. Not like this, but like this. Like, yeah, your form is excellent, but this blade is dull. Super subpar. You're not going to be able to put a scratch on me with this. Not only does he, he's still holding off Toa with this, and he flicks the Naginata, flicking Satsuna onto the ground, cracking. The blade is cracked. The blade is about to break. And Toa's energy blade grows in size because she's like, Satsuna, yeah, Sasuke. Sorry, got flashbacks to Naruto, right? Blade gets wider with her energy. And he's like, he's smiling and laughing. I recall before when you had your powers went up in your abilities went up in power, your sister was in danger. Or at least that's what Riku told me. Okay, I got you. Pushes her back. Then he's making a beeline towards Satsuna. He says, no, I got to that part already. He's making a move, and he's smiling, laughing, and while he's focused on Satsuna, he gets stabbed by Toa right in the same spot that Riku did. He's like, I guess I did let my guard down a little bit. And, she's saying, Riku, I'm going to use this wound that you put in here. And she's, increasing her powers, trying to make it swell up a bit. And here comes Satsuna again with this tag team attack. She's coming down with her Naginata, and he's clashing with his sword. I think at this point, he already pushed Toa back, to clash with Satsuna. And I told you before, I don't know if I mentioned this, but before, her Naginata had a dark aura, and her arm blade started to glow kind of black too when she had to attacked him earlier, and when she saved Moroha. So they're clashing. Her blood blade on her arm rises up, and she swipes, putting a second cut right, almost like a small X on his cheek. And he's like, you dare do this? Dude comes, his aura is huge, his power is immense, and he comes down with his blade. She's blocking it with the naginata, and the naginata is broken. The blade shatters, it's broken, and he just cuts her. And we see a little energy trail off, and she falls back, and we get Toa crying out for her sister. Where am I? He does. I don't know if I said no. He says not. He doesn't say how dare you. He says damn you, because he's pissed that he got cut again. And Satsuna's down, and I got to be honest. If this was any other anime, even in Dragon Ball, when Trunks slashed Frieza, we saw a body split. If it was any other anime, she'd have been cut in two. But she has a deep gash across her chest. And Satsuna's down the ground. Toa goes past him, makes her way. She's crying. She's trying to. She's like, "Don't die, don't die. I'm sorry. Oh no. Like, stuff is looking bad. The sad music is swelling up, and Satsuna opens her eyes. She's like, "No, it's okay. It's okay. I'm not gonna die here, right?" And she's like, Toa's like, "Yeah, no, you're not gonna die." She says, "But you know what? I am feeling kind of sleepy." And Toa's like, "Oh no," it's like, "Oh shit." And he's saying, "I'm just gonna, I'm sorry. Just let me rest my eyes a little bit." And we see the dream butterfly go past Toa, and it lands on Satsuna, and it disperses. And she's closing her eyes. She's dying. Satsuna's dying. And she says to her, and it's weird. For a split second, she calls her on the sub. It says sis, but no, she calls her One-chan. She calls her big sister. In this moment, she calls her big sister. She has a memory. She remembers her, and we get a voiceover of Toa talking about how they met and how they were in the forest, and we're getting a parallel because she's holding Satsuna's hand, and she's saying, she says good night and close her eyes. She's dead now. And she's like, "I'm wondering why I let go of her hand." And she let go of her hand falls. And she does the whole crying out. She's crying, her sister's dead. And Kirinmaru says, he says, "It's actually truly, and this is one of the things I like about Kirinmaru now. He's calmly saying, he's not smiling or anything, he's calmly saying it's truly regrettable, that it came to this. If the Tensaiga could have brought her back if it wasn't for Zero breaking it already." And this character is pretty complex. I actually think I understand him a little bit more over these last 3 or 4 episodes. I understand him a lot more. So Moroha lands, and her aura is dark red. It's obvious she's taking the rouge. And he's saying, "Oh, it's Inuyasha, destroyer of the lands." And she's saying, "If that were true, you would last a lot longer." So she's talking shit. She's talking shit again. And he's like, "Oh, really?" Not the smile's back on his face. Her aura's deep. She looks like Inuyasha now. Straight up, when she's normal, when she has the Inuyasha, she just looks like an enraged Inuyasha, or looks like an enraged Kagome, which normally she looks like Inuyasha. Has the yellow eyes, the fangs, the whole 9 yards. She says, "This is the first time I've been calm by putting on the rouge, so I'm going to assume that this is the real power of Inuyasha, or of the rouge. I'm sorry, this is the real power of the rouge." And I already said that. She says he's gonna die, and he's like, "Cool, bring it." But behind her is that same when last episode when Riku had threw the sand up through the dirt that absorbed the dog demon, when you got that same figure. That is her aura. I'm gonna call it her aura stand. Her aura stand looks the same. He's like, "This is where you died, isn't it? I suppose she would get a little boost over here." Then we hear Toa say, "I'm sorry, Moroha, but he's my prey." He jumps back because he sees essentially the demon form of Sesshomaru and Sesshomaru's mother. He sees that demon aura form over Toa, and that's her stand. I'm calling them stands for a reason. Give me a moment. And across her blade is the two azure dragons, two blue dragons. And she has that crescent moon on her forehead. So she looks like her clan Moroha looks like her dad, and they're both ready to fight. And Kirinmaru, he smiles. He's like, "Oh, that's when Dad died." You know, he is like cool. And one of the things that annoys me is that Toa goes, "How dare you kill my sister?" I wrote so dumb in this because I'm like, it took you both losing someone to take this serious. The first time you met him, he said, "You lack spirit. You need to get stronger." Even Satsuna said, "Hey, you need to get a little bit tougher. I appreciate your soft side, but you need to realize things are a little bit different here. You got to get stronger." And you all didn't. This is where my conflict comes from because I love the music in this. The music comes at great times. The ending theme they played during the last scene, which I'll get to in a minute. Not that long now. And they did a great job with the swell and everything. It gives you emotion, makes you feel emotion. And the animation is top notch. The fight that the girls had with him, 5 out of 5 for that. 5 out of 5 for the music. It's as close as you get to anime movie quality without actually being a movie. It looks really, really good. But this is what is conflicting me. Why are you so stupid that you didn't think you needed to train to fight this guy? That you saw what Zero could do, but you didn't try to train. You just said, we're going to go after her and find her. And we're going to do stuff. I get that, like Inuyasha and his crew, they were like, hey, we're gonna work and just we're gonna find these guys and we'll beat them, right? We'll figure it out there. But they were getting stronger along the way. Inuyasha was learning how to the backlash wave, adamant barrage, you know, learning about the wind scar and figuring out the true power and having the sword made out of his fangs, so it was heavier, so he was controlling his own might. None of this moment feels unearned with this power up. It is very modern anime, and I hate to say it like that. It is very shonen anime. It's very Super Saiyan-y, if you will. And it's funny because you all know I like Dragon Ball, but this moment just it doesn't feel like Inuyasha. I get that there are some power ups through emotion in Inuyasha. But when I think of Sesshomaru was always top dog. Like Sesshomaru could have killed Inuyasha, almost did a couple of times if it wasn't for Inuyasha and Kagome's tenacity, right? So you fight overwhelming force with tenacity. I don't feel like they're being tenacious here. It just feels like it's an anime power up. And Sesshomaru, when he fought strong opponents, he was either they were never over him. They had to trick him in order to get away half of the time. He was on par or stronger than his foes. I understand we're trying to give them something to work towards, but like I said before, they don't feel tenacious, and this what's coming up now almost feels unearned. So, like I said, she says, "How dare you kill my sister?" Which is just dumb. Now you're serious. And Moroha says, "She was a precious friend to me too." They're both going to go after him, right? One is red, one is blue. It's really nice. They look like Inuyasha and Sesshomaru fighting together. So they make their way towards him. And he says, "You know what?" Before they make their way, she says, "You know what? I'm not going to back down. I'm Kirinmaru. I am the Beast King of the East, Kirinmaru of the Dawn." Gave you his full title, mind you. I'm gonna get to another part in a minute. Gave you his full title, mind you. So he's ready. They both challenge him. They both go in. They do their dragon wave attacks. The Crescent Dragon Wave, and they attack that Toa didn't even know the name to. Miyoka didn't even bother to tell her that it was called the Azure Dragon Wave. Actually, the one tiger lady didn't even bother to tell her that was Sesshomaru's attack. But the dragons look gnarly now. They don't look just like anime. They look like really gnarly with sharp teeth. The little twin energy Toa sends out and the Crimson Dragon. My man, Kirinmaru, sticks his blade in the ground, does straight up hand symbols. Straight up hand symbols. I love this part. Grew horns, because if you've never seen what a Kirin looks like, many believe that people in Southeast Asia, China, and subsequently Japan, you get the mythical beast of the Kirin from giraffes because they've never seen a giraffe before. So when you see pictures of a Kirin, it has those horns that look like an Eastern dragon, the big pointy, nubby, almost antlers, but they have long bodies. They're right up there in the pantheon of a dragon and a phoenix for them. So Kirinmaru is based on his name, he's a strong guy. He gets those horns. His hair becomes 3 times longer. His marks appear on his body. He puts up a barrier. And it's crazy because he why his barriers up? He's saying, hey, Toa, this technique you're using is your dragon wave, is your father Sesshomaru's attack. But you have 2 dragon heads instead of 1. From this day forward, it is called the Twin Azure Dragon Wave. This is some Sanin type shit right here. He's telling you what your attack gonna be called. And he's saying, hey, Moroha, this Crimson Dragon Wave, it is filled with your will and your spirit, so I cannot control it. Like, no one else can push it away. And he's saying, for that reason, for these 2 reasons alone, I can't withstand it. It's like, oh snap. The attack collide on him. We get a large white explosion. And this explosion is so huge, it makes a massive crater where they are. It is pushing near where the water is. Because they were by this burnt temple, this pushing near waves. And in between there, I wanted to call her Inuyasha because that's where she is right now. But Moroha, she comes out of the dirt very much like her dad. And she's like, oh man, Toa put up a barrier around her and her Satsuna's body. And she has, we get a better look at Toa. She has long hair like her father, in addition to the moon. And Kirinmaru, he's holding himself. He's like, man, that one actually stung that time. This is your real power. And Moroha is saying that we're tired of you looking down on us. Oh, sorry, I'm skipping ahead a bit. Toa says that we're going to see if your life measures up to Satsuna's life. And I'm going to test that right now. And it's just, pardon my language, I wrote F off on here because I'm like, please don't you give this typical anime protagonist speech right now. Because if you all ever took this seriously, you would have trained harder knowing that you would have to fight this overwhelming guy who fought your dad, who you still just call him Sesshomaru, but he fought him without doing any of this, and they made the world shaking and literally almost crumble. Unbelievable. Anyhow, he said, man, so this is your true power. This stung, and one of the things that also made me say F off is when they see Kirinmaru, he says that's Moroha's like, man, so you withstand it, and Toa's like, oh, I wouldn't expect any less. I'm just like, shut up, just shut up, please. And I guess he's kind of lecturing him a bit because his blade is in the ground. His power brings his blade up to his hand, and he's saying, so usually it looks like you guys have demons are slowly mastering the demon blood within them, and Moroha's like, I'm tired of you, looking down on us. And it one of the things I don't think these pig-headed girls, these pig-headed princesses realize, this dude has kind of been training you while you've been fighting him. You guys never really, Moroha, you had a master, and it sucks that they killed her, but you guys are being trained by a guy who has a personal connection to you. You should probably listen. Especially you, Toa, because for some reason you like to socialize with your enemies, but I guess it's different because he killed your sister. Now you're serious. Anyway, everyone's oars rise up. They're talking about they're going to challenge him. He's like, cool. I'm kind of, another thing I wrote in my notes here is he's powerful, you idiots. Of course he's not even really looking down on you. He's taking pity on you. During the fight, he's taking pity on you that he's being serious. So their oars rise up until their stands. He slashes the ground, and suddenly he looks around, and it's space. I shit you not, guys. There are planetoids all around. They're fighting in space, and he's enjoying it. So Moroha's stand, the great dog demon thing, it swipes down. He dodges it. It cuts. I called it a moon, but it cuts a planetoid straight in half. The Sesshomaru family dog demon thing is running after him, and he's clashing with it and dodging it. And Toa's like, I'm gonna absorb your demon energy, Kirinmaru. He's like, you are free to try, and sends a massive dark orb towards her, and it breaks through her little stand aura. She's trying to absorb it, and she's like, damn, your energy. And it overcomes her. Her powered up form, the moon leaves, her hair shortens. She falls down. Now it's not space anymore. She falls down. She's down in the dirt. And the large dog demon stand, to Moroha, it's trying to cut at him, and he knocks it out the way. He's clashing with it. They're giving him a once over, but he's still too strong. And Moroha's paying attention, like, oh no. He slashes it. He slashes it, severs the tie. Moroha falls down, and we go from that little space area to just it's the crater that they were at before, and he's in the air looking down on them. Whew. And what's her name? Toa's looking up. Moroha is on her belly, but Toa's looking up, and he says, I have not fought like this since I fought with the Great Dog Demon. He's not had a battle like that since the time he fought their grandfather. Yeah, their grandfather. And he looks over Satsuna. Oh no, he calls him Yashahime. He calls them both Yashahime by name. Doesn't just say the other name they have for the half demon princess. He calls him Yashahime. And he's saying, I look forward to the next time we meet. And he looks at Satsuna and he says, Satsuna, I will carve your name into my heart, and I will never forget you. And then, he flies off and he's gone. And now it's starting to rain. And as it's raining, we do have this scene of, Toa crawling towards her sister. And she's crying and she said, I'm sorry. And before that, we do get Kirara in her tiny form looking at Moroha, and Moroha's upon her. She says, I'm sorry. We lost. I'm so sorry. And Toa's crying. She's heavily sobbing. And we get a voice over her. She says, they say there's weak people in the world, but the true people that are weak are those who fail. No, those who could not protect what they wanted to protect most. And that's what I am. That's the type of weakling I am. And then suddenly, the rain stops. The rain doesn't stop. The rain pauses in the air. The raindrops pause in air. Sesshomaru is in front of her. And she looks up. She's like, Sesshomaru. Doesn't call him dad, which is really freaking stupid by now, but okay. And he gives her, I believe this is the Tensaiga. He says something. And she's like, what? I thought they were going to do a thing where they didn't let us hear, but he says, Toa, how about you try to use this? And she takes the blade. And he has this look. He has this pensive look. Like he's not mad. Usually Sesshomaru has this blank look unless he's mad and focusing and fighting. But he has this, I think this is a pensive look. He gives it to her. And the moment she takes the sword, he's vanished. He's gone, and the rain is pouring down. This is when our ending song was played to give us this emotion. And that is the end of it. We get a nice little key image of second season is confirmed. That's what it literally says. Second season is confirmed. So we are getting a part 2. Don't know when, but this is the end of part 1, season 1 of Yashahime Half Demon Princess. Oh, sorry, I say Princess Half Demon. And yeah, I had a feeling. I was hoping it wasn't a fake out from the preview of last time Satsuna died, but I had a feeling. And, the further factor that she needed to get this very shonen-esque ability to power up through having lost, it does trouble me. It does annoy me. But that's the way it is. And the thing I did not put 2 and 2 together until I saw the end of this episode was, oh, yeah, that's right. The fake sword she has, she does a great job with it regarding being fake because she makes her own energy blade. If he gives her the Tensaiga, not only will she add her ability to put energy into it, it should have the ability to bring back Satsuna. Satsuna will live, but she will probably be in a coma, and she will probably have to be placed inside of the Tree of Ages with her mother, just like the opening credits, the opening theme where she falls back And, you know, her mom catches her. They were telling us what was going to happen the whole entire time, y'all. So, yeah. But the reason why I was conflicted on what to give this episode as a whole was because of some of the dialogue, was because of some of the motivations. I love Kirinmaru now because he's an honorable villain. I can't call him a villain. He's an honorable protagonist. He hates humans, hates half demons. Yes, he has prejudice and bigoted ways, bigoted thoughts, but he respects strength, and he will never try to cheat an opponent or do cheap tactics like Kotetsu and the other, like the Four Perils. He would never try to do anything like that. He wouldn't do anything like what Zero was doing. He believes in honorable battle, especially given that these are the prodigy, the children, grandchildren of his former rival, frenemy, foe, compatriot, what have you. Seems like they had a complicated relationship. You know, I guess the Great Doll Demon beat him, and he came to respect him. Kirinmaru is a very complex villain, and it's very refreshing to have an honorable villain. We usually get the insane psycho ones, or the ones who are just insanely powerful, and that's what makes them crazy. And I can appreciate an antagonist. I'm reluctant to call him a villain, but I respect the fact that we have an antagonist that can have some type of complexity, especially in this show that kind of wavers and falters a bit. So, as a whole, given how it looks, given the sound, and given some of the resolution, some of the things that's going on, I can confidently give this episode a 4.5 out of 5. I'll probably try to give you a talk about the season 1 as a whole probably next week, and I'll give you my review on that. But yeah, guys, this was the episode. Please, I know I went long on this, but hey, it's the season finale, right? Gotta go along on this one. Please, let me know what you think down in the comment section below. Please remember to like as well as comment and hit that subscribe button. It really helps me out. And hit the notification button to get notified of more videos like this. I do anime reviews every weekend. Technically, I do videos every weekend, but I do these type of videos for Yashahime every Saturday. So, don't worry. I'll have something to replace Yashahime. Don't you worry. But please remember to share the video so others can see what a great commentary we're getting and a great time you're having with theories and discussion. As always, please be good and be blessed. Wash your hands, wear a mask. Black Lives Matter. Be kind to yourself and be kind to others. Don't be a jerk. We stand with you, my Asian brothers and sisters. And as always, I will definitely see you next time.